Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's world. Hi y'all, welcome to Mayowa's world. So I just want to start off the video by thanking everyone who sent me such kind words in my last video, and also who helped donate to my GoFundMe, because it's allowed me the space to properly grieve and get into hobbies that actually have been really like nourishing for me during this time of bereavement. Losing a mother isn't easy, but I am at a place where I actually want to share my thoughts and share my work again, which is a really incredible place to be, because I wasn't sure like when I would want to express myself publicly, but I'm just happy to the community that I have online, because that's genuinely what made me like want to keep going. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Mayowa, and I like to discuss things around colorism, anti-blackness, misogyny. Today we are going to talk about the villain to spiritual rebrand. And it all started because I made this tweet and I said this. I said, the abuser to spiritual rebrand pipeline is very strong. I feel like there's an age-long tale of people who have been able to use religion as a cop-out for accountability. And when I say religion, I am talking a lot about Abrahamic religions, but also New Age spirituality, and how people have been able to enforce the same levels of patriarchy, capitalism in New Age spirituality as the old Abrahamic ones. And I find it interesting because often people who use religion as a form to avoid accountability are often exposed to more people who are very susceptible to harm. I'm always very wary when people use the word forgive, especially when it's like people have done really atrocious things, because I feel like they really just want you to just act like it never happened and make it a comfortable space for people who are very harmful. I am a Nigerian person. I am aware of how when we discuss things around colonialism, one of the first things that people always want to talk about is forgiveness. Like, why can't you just forgive them? Because there's no accountability. You literally cannot have forgiveness if there's no accountability. And I feel like this is the big word. And I really believe that accountability is determined by what the people who are affected by the harm want. I'm also curious to know what y'all's relationship is to forgiveness. I do feel like Abrahamic religions make us feel like forgiveness is something that's really quintessential to each person, and that if you don't forgive, you end up being very bitter or very angry. But I really just don't agree with how people, society have interpreted that word of forgiveness, because I don't feel like I need to forget something, or I need to not be able to access rage about something that's happened just because I have quote unquote forgiven you. This is also not to like make fun of any kind of religious backgrounds, but I do feel like if the conversation of accountability isn't being had simultaneously with these people's rebrands, what's going on? So I really think that the reason that so many villains are getting into their spiritual and religious bag is because of two reasons. The first reason, patriarchy. The second reason, desirability. I feel like people are very quote unquote forgiving to people who are benefiting from patriarchy, or people who are considered desirable. And if you add the two together, it's a mess. I think there's a lot of patriarchy embedded into a lot of religious beliefs that people haven't unpacked. And I think that people are just accepting that whatever a man says goes. Everything I'm saying in this video is completely alleged. I have no facts. I'm just giving you things that I've read online. I'm going to be using the word I'm going to be using the word allegedly all through this video, just because, you know, I don't want to get in trouble. The first person that we're going to discuss on this villain to spiritual rebrand is Shia LaBeouf. Some like wild things online about Shia LaBeouf, but one of the wildest things that I read recently was Shia LaBeouf has recently converted to Catholicism and wants to be a deacon after he said he was inspired by the film he's making. Because there's an article that was written by the New York Times with the headline, FKA Twigs sues Shia LaBeouf citing relentless abusive relationship. And if y'all like read this article or have read this article, the things that she's accounting that happened in that relationship is absolutely wild. Allegedly sounds like a very abusive man, and like somebody who was really like tormented a lot of women, allegedly. But it's not just her that said that. There's been other accounts of him doing things and being and having outbursts and physical violence towards a lot of people around him. And I know some people are gonna think, well, how do you know he's just not a changed person? I just find it really ironic that the time that he is converting to Catholicism is also the same year that he has his lawsuit coming up on October 14th. when it comes to forgiveness, like, why is it that physically harming women just always seems to be at the top of the list of the most like forgivable things and like forgive and forget? But other communities would never be given this level of constant forgiveness and acceptance and praise, right? Cough, cough, queer community. And I know that people are like, oh, well, we need to like accept him because he's someone who has been through so much. But what about the people who are in the congregation who have also been through a lot, specifically around physical harm? What happens to them? Right? Like, I just feel like this is really a play-by-play book. Another person who I feel like has this villain to spiritual rebrand multiple times is Andrew Tate.
Is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
Depends.
Yes.
How can you say that? Are you
you're
joking?
okay with your woman cheating on you then?
Absolutely not. That's haram.
No, because
it's around when she cheats.
Andrew Tate is a social media person who, in my opinion, has spread some of the most misogynistic things I've ever heard. He has also really horrific allegations around a lot of things that I don't want to say on my channel because I don't want to get in trouble. He was raised Christian and then he became atheist and then he became Christian and now he's Muslim. And personally, like, when I'm pointing these things out, I'm not critiquing if they really believe it or not, because like, I don't really care if they believe it or not. It has nothing to do with me. But what I do notice is that it puts them into a level of like, it introduces them to an audience of people who are willing to do anything to defend him based off of the fact that he is now in the same religious group as others. Some people are gonna say like, who am I to judge? I'm a person. And I think that we need to unpack this concept of who am I to judge, because I have no power. If I am quote unquote judging Andrew Tate, I have no power to do anything with that judgment, right? I think people really blend discernment and judgment. Am I judging him or is he a piece of shit? Discernment, right? Like, do I believe him or do I believe it's a rebrand? Discernment. And there's nothing wrong with assessing someone, because ultimately you're doing this to figure out if this is a safe space for you. Like, everybody has to have levels of discernment or judgment to be able to know if this person that you're engaging with is safe. And I just feel like a lot of times people accepting these kind of harmful people into their spiritual religious spaces literally will run away people who are also very susceptible to harm. Because imagine walking into a space and you're with somebody like him. Like, that is so scary. Another person on my list that I found really interesting was Jonathan Majors, and how with Jonathan Majors actually being found guilty of domestic violence, people are still like, something I thought was really interesting during his court case was when he would constantly carry his Bible. Like, I can see through this. Like, I feel that you are using this as a shield because it's like helping people see your character. It's helping people see that you are a rebranded man. You've turned over a new leaf. Like, it allows softness to certain people. And I just think it's, I feel like I can just see through it. This is not new. Like, this has been happening for hundreds of years. And and like, even the amount of like, and before people say like, oh, cancel culture, baby, he is allowed an interview immediately after being found guilty. Like, what? Can you imagine being the victim and having to watch him have that interview? I'm surprised that he's able to act so somberly. It's like, babes, he's an actor. Like, this is the place they're going to shine. Like, if you can't accept that these people are like doing this as an act, I don't know what will help you. And also, I feel like what's interesting is how quickly it's like, it comes up whenever there's like a court case coming up, right? Like the rebrand, whatever, there's like immediately a call out and like it's public and like, but why? I don't know if y'all are seeing the trend. And then somebody who I would say is like the new age spiritualist that does this would be somebody like Russell Brand. Because Russell Brand, that documentary about him and all the alleged crimes that he has, girl, he's always been someone who has been talking so much about like holistic healing, spirituality, healing. Babes, the call is coming from inside the house. Like, and of course, there's nothing wrong with, healing and wanting to speak about that healing openly. But once again, as I said in the beginning, the accountability piece is missing. How can you publicly speak out and say to people that they need to heal when you're not honest with all the things that have happened in your own past? Huh? Like, I'm sorry, I just really believe that it's strategic. And I will also clump Darius Jackson into the same boat because recently Darius Jackson says that he has been baptized, and how all this comes public when Keke Palmer has filed a restraining order against him. Also, I just really need us to like decenter thinking about what people who are oppressive are feeling when they're called out. What about people who have been harmed? How do you think that they feel seeing the rebrand? Like, I just feel like it is so trippy to see someone who you know ain't shit suddenly now walking around like proud and talking about their spiritual beliefs. Like, we could be more, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with having discernment. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to forgive. There's nothing wrong with wanting accountability. All those words have to be at the center of the practice, because I feel like it's also just making it seem as if being a part of these religious groups is just so easy. And surely it shouldn't be. Surely it should not be. But if we continue to open these doors for people like this, we're just going to keep seeing more villains use this template. It's just a template. So yeah, let me know what you think. If y'all have experienced this in your own personal life, let me know. I have seen people do this who I know as well. And I'm like, girl, you were literally doing some of the most egregious acts like a couple months ago. And now like you're a new person. What is this? I just hate that it works. But anyway, if you made it to the end, I am really in my red lipstick bag. I somehow like don't wear red lipstick so often. I like try to use more browns and yeah, but I'm like trying to use more bright lip color. So if you like my lip color, let me know. And I tied my hair back like this, which is kind of interesting for me because I don't really do too much. I usually just let my hair be as it is. But yeah, so like let me know if you like it to the end. And once again, thank you for everyone who has really supported me. Like all the kind words and all the love has really just been able to make me be like, I want to come back on here. I want to share my thoughts. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.